happy 2023.
We made it.
Woo!
Barely. By the skin of our teeth, which I hate that phrase, but I'm going to use it.
What does that even mean?
Right? Exactly.
Like, what's the origin of skin of our teeth?
I don't know. That seems like
Listeners,
a Tom
if you
question.
know the origin of this,
I don't know that one. I know a lot of those weird idioms. Is that what they are?
yeah.
Idioms?
I don't know. That word sounds right. I couldn't
Like-
remember the word for clock a couple seconds ago, so I'm going to be no help here.
Anyway, skin of our teeth, whatever that is.
So
made
welcome to 2023. Welcome to the new, I guess, format of the Girlfriends Without Benefits podcast.
Yes, we're excited to see what you guys think.
Yeah.
Get your feedback on it.
So should we walk them through the format, or should we just do the format and then
Just
tell
do
them
the
what
format.
happened?
Let's just do it. Sorry, we're not telling
Yeah.
you what we're doing. We're just gonna do it.
Just do it.
Okay. Kaylin and Jade, one of you can start then.
All right.
What's going on in your world?
So we are starting with a little personal life updates. So, oh man, Jade, I feel like you have to start this because you've got lots of fun stuff going on with you personally.
That's true. I do, because as you all may remember, my daughter is here from Australia and I haven't seen her for 4.5 years. So, we are just catching up, lots and lots of long conversations, a lot of laughing. And it's been crazy to have her. I think did I describe this to you? Like the second I saw her when she came out of the doors from the airport, it felt like my heart went back into my body, or like I could take a deep breath, like for the first time. And I hadn't recognized how that wasn't the case. Like I've been for 4.5 years, like, it's fine. But the second she came back, it was just like, it's really hard to explain. It's very hard to put into words.
How old was she when she left? Just curious.
18.
Oh, wow. So 18 to 22. That's some of the most transformational life changes go on during that phase.
I know.
Text you sent yesterday then about her being like an adult because she's been on her own. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. She's been on her own for that long. It's not like I've been sending her money or anything. She's been making her own way in the world, and she's lived alone. And for 95% of the time that she's been in Australia. So she's a badass, and it's really cute because she very carefully picks up after herself. Every time she comes downstairs, she does dishes or she organizes. She like tells Sophia and Jack to put their coffee cups away. I'm like, yes, this is so great.
Oh,
those are pretty big differences in her for sure. And then at the same time, it's like nothing's changed. She's herself. And I think that was really relieving to me, because I didn't know, like, will I even recognize her? It's not like we don't talk like several times a week, but still it's not the same as being in person. So she's just herself, and she's glorious and funny. She's the heartbeat of any gathering. She always has been. Like, anytime you're in a room, you want Alana because she brings the party. And we've all missed that so much. So she takes a simple Cards Against Humanity game where you'd already be laughing, and then instead of just laughing, we're like crying, laughing, and like rolling around on the ground laughing. And that's my Alana. That's the energy she brings to a room.
What's her astrology sign?
I know. So she's a Scorpio. Yep. She is an Aquarius moon.
Ooh.
And she's a Cancer rising. So she's got 2 of your 3 casts. But that Aquarius moon is such an interesting, quirky little part of her. So yeah.
What is it? Explain.
Well, the Aquarius and the moon get along pretty well, but Aquarius is an air sign. And so they're kind of like able to kind of rise above. They're kind of visionaries, and they don't really like to dabble too much in emotions. Like, it's like, let's just keep it light and airy and have fun. But the rest of the water in her chart is calling her to the deep, dark, complicated stuff. So she kind of and her sun and moon are making a square in her chart, which means they're not always getting along.
Really
It's
getting
like,
along.
which part of me do I honor? And so she kind of goes between those, and it's made her really like, I've never known anyone who can laugh at themselves the way that she can. She's just totally capable of just, she's the first one to laugh at, any quirkiness that she has, or it's great. So we're just catching up, and Sophia started crying already, thinking about her not being here. She's like, having my sister here, like, to go to the gym. They go to the gym every day. They're like, wake up and they're like, okay, so this is what we're gonna do, and they all make their plans. And I just, yeah, it's so great. So
yeah.
Did she feel called?
Oh, you go first, Cass.
I was gonna say, does she feel called to go back to Australia now that she's home, or?
Oh yeah, she knows she's going back. She has a life there. She has a job there. She does have to make a decision by August of, to leave, where she's going to go next. Yeah. So more to come on that, because I have her for a few more weeks. So that's my life update.
I was going to ask you, does she feel like you are different at all in the last 4 years?
That we would have to ask her that. I think that she's been surprised about a few things. I'm a lot less like I go out a lot less. I drive around a lot less. I'm a lot less busy. Like, I'm a lot more content to be in my space and not just always doing. And that's pretty different for me. She's noticed that a few times, but I'd have to ask her. She's asleep right now.
We might have to have her on the podcast.
I'm just literally thinking the same thing. I'm like, she might need to come on for a segment.
Exactly, before she goes back.
I think it would be very interesting to hear, there's not a lot of kids her age who have done what she's done. It's not a typical life path. So it could be a very interesting to have, to ask her questions about what that's been like for her.
And about you.
Yeah. Yep.
Because if she's got some Scorpio Cancer, she's gonna be honest about you.
She will be so honest about me.
So just throwing that out there.
She will be very honest.
So is she gonna be at our end segment then? Will we be roasting Jade?
Yeah, we might. She might be. Well, she could probably participate for all, but she might lead the end segment then before.
And she's very sweet to me though, and complimentary. If you really want me to be roasted, you have to get Sophia on here. Sophia, my Gemini, Sag, Scorpio rising, that combo, she'll roast.
She's not soft and gentle.
She'll roast anyone.
I love it. Well, good.
Amazing.
Cass, do you want to go?
I feel like you can go, and then I'll just roll my next two sections together because they go hand in hand.
They do.
Good point.
Not a whole lot of updates. I feel like Christmas, end of the year, is just like status quo, figuring out life as a family of four is always exciting and messy and all of those things. Spending time with family is always good and difficult, it's good, but also can be hard. So yeah, I would say that there's not a whole lot of big changes. I will share he's sleeping. I have a baby on my lap, and I was going to share a Kennedy update for the people that are watching on YouTube, but
you can do it once you
don't want to disturb.
I don't want to disturb him. We have more to record, and that's not fun for anyone.
He might come after the roast.
Exactly, but he's growing and just learning a new human. So while also trying to still be myself and recognize that I don't love only being in that role. I need to have other things. I need to, work. So anyway, yeah.
That's a lot of parenting in the trenches that you're doing right now. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Because Hayden's still getting used to having the baby too. And
What's wild is I kind of expected him to have like some sort of resentment or like negativity towards his brother, and it has all been towards Anthony and I. Like,
yeah,
he
sure.
like loves, he like just worships this baby, would do anything for the baby, but like he is vengeful on the two of us right now. And I'm like, listen, you asked for this.
Yeah.
Why are you taking this out on me?
Asked for a sister. So I mean, just throwing that out there.
He has said that he is very thankful that he got a brother. So I'm glad that we arrived there. But yeah, when I am going through, you know, up levels and stuff, I get attacked from the family side. That's like my most vulnerable side. And so, you know, it's like Hayden will get sick or he'll start acting out. And I'm like, oh God, here we go, you know. So
how has this kind of postpartum period been? Because now like you're over a little over 2 months, 2.5 months in, been compared to Hayden's?
Oh gosh, so much better.
Mm-hmm.
So much better. I mean, first and foremost, I didn't have to spend the first almost 2 weeks in a hospital. So there's that.
Yeah.
And that will grind on anyone's mental health. And then I was really alone for Hayden's like first 3 months. I mean, we traveled earlier and like went and saw family, and I had some family like come out and see me, but like there was a lot of time that I couldn't do any work at all, like was not allowed for 15 weeks. And that was really hard for me because again, that's like this part of me that is like so fulfilling. And so to not have that at all for 15 weeks was very hard on me. And then to basically just be like the sole responsible person all day long, because Anthony's work schedule was so much different. You know, he was 9 to 5. So he would leave in the morning and wouldn't get back until the evening. And so I literally had the bulk of the day, just me, human pacifier basically for a baby, and no other parts of me that I needed I could do. You know, it was like I would go to the gym and like walk on the treadmill to like just like move my body, or like go to the mall and like walk through my store to like get some sort of like human interaction. But it was tough. And now this time I'm like, you know, Anthony's home from work halfway through the day. I got to start like dipping my toes back in work like within like 2 weeks, and that was so good.
Mind you, she had the baby on a
I
Sunday.
was not made to. Yeah, I was not
the baby on a Sunday, and she's like, "Can I join the Monday meeting?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not." Like hard pass. I will kick you off.
I need that. I need that though. I need that
the day after.
Oh, I was in labor responding to clients. I need it. So
tell me you're a generator without telling me you're a generator. Kaylin will go first.
I will. But yeah, so I think this time, you know, it's just been totally different having someone home with me starting at noon to take the baby so that I can do other things. I think just like as a person, I've grown a lot. And I'm able to like ask for what I need a little bit more now and know what I need.
What you need, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know that I was that embodied the last time around. So yeah, way better. Way better. The hard is way less hard. So yeah.
I like that quote.
Cass.
Well, I
Give
guess
it to us. Give it to us, friend.
I just went off of a 3-week bender of dying.
A 3-week bender.
We don't say it's over because then the universe is like,
No,
round 4.
I'm coming down. No, I think I figured out. Well, I figured out like, I don't know, 40 plus pieces from it. So I think we're good. Like, I think this death has, you know, not concluded, but been paused till, you know, next week. And it's funny because I don't even know where to start with this.
Yeah.
It started out as like kind of I'm doing some peptide work and some injectable kind of vitamin work. And I was like, oh, maybe it's just a reaction. And then like the stomach flu was going around. So I'm like, maybe it's just the stomach flu. And it's weird because it only happens Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then Monday through Thursday, I'm great. And I'm like, this is weird. I'm like looking up stomach flus that only happen during the weekend. Like that's a fucking thing. It's not, just so in case you were curious.
Google is not going to give you the answer you need, Cass.
I know. I wish like I should one day just take a screenshot of like my search history for you guys. Because I'm like looking up all sorts of weird shit, but it was like, does the stomach flu only happen on the weekends? Like, no, it does not. And then by the third weekend, I was like, okay, clearly energetic. What am I supposed to learn? What the fuck's going on here? And it was funny because like I kind of picked up it was energetic on the second weekend. I was like, this is really weird. Like it's starting the same time, it's happening the same way. Like, what's going on? And then Tom was still like, well, it could be the stomach bug. Like, there's a lot of stuff going around. And then, like, the third weekend, he's like, okay, what the fuck? Like, only Friday through Sunday, like, basically like clockwork. And what I was realized, like, one of the big realizations, there was several in here, is that during the week, it's like very intentionally based, very like present, not disassociated. And then to kind of cope with all of like that stress, if you will, like not, I didn't feel stress, but like all of just the intensity that we're kind of going through during the week, I was like disassociating and just like being like, peace out. I don't need to like spend time with my family, talk to friends, do anything. Like, let me just become a vegetable. And the universe is like, hi, yeah, that's wrong. Like, we need to recalibrate you into that space. So it consisted of basically 3 weeks of throwing up and shitting myself for at the same time, sometimes simultaneously, sometimes
Forced
every
embodiment.
6 minutes. Yeah, forced embodiment. If you don't actually do the embodiment work, the universe will force you, like FYI. So and then it kind of concluded on the weekend before Christmas. I have been saying, I don't even know how long, Kaylin, you probably could tell me, that I need to take Diana on like a little micro trip, just her and I together. Like
Probably
months.
at least a year. It's been at least a year because shortly after you had Amelia, it was when I feel like the idea first kind of came.
Yeah, it was probably after I got back from like, so it was probably since April. Because like after I got back from, my whirlwind trip of, dying of 2022.
Yes.
So I've been saying this and like, oh, we need to do like a weekend away. Like my daughter like is obsessed with hotels. Like just is
With
like
pools
and hotels, room service. Like tell me you're bougie AF.
Apple doesn't fall far from the
from the mommy tree.
It really doesn't. So so she's like, can we go to a hotel? Can we go to a hotel? And we had our power go out and it was fine. And then as the kind of day progressed, it was getting colder and colder in the house. And I was still feeling nauseous. And I was on day 5 of not washing my hair. And I really needed to wash my hair. And I was like, I will pay any price to wash my hair. So I booked a hotel at like a cute little place downtown Bangor, and the restaurant that's connected to it is my favorite restaurant. It's like the only place that I'll eat up here. It's like a farm to table kind of version. So I was like, I'll take Diana, we'll have our little time together and we'll, go swimming, etc. I'll wash my hair. The minute I like go to leave, like I start feeling better and I'm like, this is so bullshit. And then the minute we kind of check in and like get settled and things of that nature, kind of get out of the shower, the power comes back on. So it's like, okay. So then we have to kind of do the whole thing of like, do we stay? Don't want to crush her. Obviously now she finally feels like she got to this, pinnacle of a hotel. So kind of figuring out that space. But what I realized in this kind of this jostling, if you will, is that I am being removed. Certain giftings are being removed. Like right now I have no ability to muscle test, which I don't even know if I told you, Jade.
Wow. No.
My muscle testing went away. It's kind of a joke. My pendulum work went away. If I hold my pendulum, it stays still now.
Wow.
It's kind of unfair. So I'm like, if anyone wants a pendulum, let me know. I'll send you one.
No, it'll come back to you.
No,
later.
it's not. It's not coming back.
He doesn't need it.
It doesn't. Yeah. So both of those things went away. But now what I'm kind of calibrating and working with is like, if I go against download or if I go against intuition, it's almost instant nausea. And like, basically just like, stop what you're doing, do what I told you and go.
Wow, Cass. That's both terrifying and also comforting.
Comforting for
time. for you to know that it's that accessible to you, like that knowing is right there for you. That's like, but that's a lot to take in.
It's a lot. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's comforting in a way. I mean, I think it's more terrifying. I'm like, I literally can't fuck, like I can't fuck up. Like I can't fuck around. Like I
Fuck
went
around and then you find out with your stomach saying,
like almost instantaneously. And I've kind of like played with it for the past couple days now of like, well, like I got the download that we need to go to Savannah in February, March timeframe, to start like looking for a house down there and to like start that process. And like flights were like $2,700 for 4 of us. And I was like, and it's like a 10-hour flight. I'm like, no way. Like I looked a couple weeks ago, there's nothing there. And this time I look and there's, a flight that is just like half of the points that I have on American Airlines, like easily upgraded and like a 4-hour flight. And I'm like, well, guess it's time to go to Savannah. So like it's stuff like that now. And it's funny. I was telling Kaylin that like I was like, okay, my card's downstairs. I'll book it tomorrow. And like, I'll just like, I saw it. I like, good. I know what I'm supposed to do. And like, I could not go to sleep. Like it instantly started if I did not go downstairs and immediately take action. So it's like, okay, like, here's what you have to do. You got the download, now go, like, and take the next step. So it's interesting.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It is cool.
So, and this leads me to what the segment of what shaman shit will be. Is I think the best thing that kind of came out of all of this is I messaged, I don't even know how many people, like 20 of my healer sister friends, and then like, help me, like what the hell is going on. And one of the things that 3 of them said, not connected, that I found really funny, all separate messages. They were like, being like friends with you or connected to you or working with you, like should come with a warning label. Because all of them were going through similar upgrade initiation. One of them in particular just messaged me. She's like, I have shit myself like 6 times in the past 24 hours. And she's like, I know this is your fault. And the other one's like, if I see another ginormous spider in my salon, I'm going to kill you. She's like, there's a ginormous spider. I'm like sweeping it out. My husband's telling me to kill it. I'm telling him I don't want to kill Cass. And there's a hawk flying over me. Like, fuck you. So for those of who are listening to the podcast who know I'm putting them on blast, you're welcome. So
shaman shit.
Yes.
Shaman shit section.
Yeah, it's been interesting. So, because I think like what I'm seeing is it's further connecting the people that need to be like connected to do what we're doing, both from a like aligned perspective and then both from like a spirit rise kind of like knitting together kind of healer collective. So it's
Definitely.
quite fascinating. And honestly, for the past 4 weeks has been quite aggressive.
Yeah.
So
I don't know that I would wish that on anyone.
No. Terrifying.
Also, it's for your good.
And comforting though. That's the comforting. It's the comforting part. Like you have immediate like knowledge of what you should be doing. And that can be comforting or may become so even more so.
But there's it's a whole nother level of like surrender fuckery, which we often talk about on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Because like right now with, what we're doing from an income perspective, like I'm not making what I normally make. And it's like, okay, buy this, do this, like make this big investment, go here. And then I'm like, am I just going to like, there's probably, I don't know, 20% of me that's like, am I just going to get like massively fucked over by the universe? And there's 80% of me that I'm like, okay, I'm held. Like, so I need that 20%. And that 20% obviously used to probably be flip-flopped where it was 20% felt like being led and 80% I'm like going to be fucked over. So I'm in a much better place, but I'm like, okay, does anyone ever really get to the 100% like trust level?
That's a good question.
I want to know though, for the listeners, can you talk to us about your blends that you started making? Our little shaman friend.
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. So I got the download to start blending some flower essences for a manifestation blend for kind of our team, our kind of core stateside team. And of course, I'm not just going to like blend something and give it to you guys without testing it for myself. So I'm like, let me, blend some stuff and like kind of play with it for a little while, see if I need to perfect it. The Somavedic, which we should drop a link in the show notes because that needs its own episode. That thing's magical, but it structures water. So I can basically take flower essence and expand it into a water to make like a really powerful, like basically plant medicine. So I came up with this blend of, I don't even know how many. I think it's maybe 8 or 9 different plants for manifestation. And it's like to basically clear out any limiting beliefs, to like amplify any positive momentum, to gain clarity about like what your true desires are, to change money consciousness, to change receiving consciousness. Kind of, hey, Kennedy.
Hand that over, Cass. I need me some of that.
Well, we are
Right?
going to. Yeah, you guys are all going to get it. Our whole team is
That's
going to
really
get it. And
exciting.
I might actually start selling it too if I feel compelled to. But as I was testing it the other day, I think it was a total of $24,000 in sales on the days that I was testing it. So
What is it? What do you mean?
like I was manifesting and kind of using it for money with the money intention.
Okay.
We closed another spiritually whole client. And then I closed another individual client, or 2 more individual clients, one with a year contract and one with a 3-month contract. So and this has been like pretty stagnant over the past couple months. So I was like, okay, we're working. So I was like, okay, let me do a little bit more. But I was like, not bad. Using it once, $25,000 return on investment. That's pretty sexy.
Nice.
So yeah, it's currently being baked, if you will, being concocted and being worked on. But the whole team will actually, the whole stateside team will get a vial and instructions on how to utilize before kind of work day.
Wait. Now everyone's gonna want to work for us. They already do. Everyone wants to.
It's true. So, but it's in a little added perk of working with kind of the spiritual entrepreneur side of, you get Jade on a regular basis, and then you're going to get some crazy ass plant elixirs. So that's been some of my questions that we have to ask, though, like the CTO, CIOs, like, are you willing to go down this crazy rabbit hole with us? Like, are you willing to add this drop of whatever plant essence to your coffee in the morning?
I'm telling you, those people that Jade selected and I selected, yes.
Yes. This is a good segue to our little aligned update, don't you think?
Yeah.
Because I think it's going to be, I mean, they all flow so seamlessly together. Like I think one of the reasons that you've been dying so completely is because we're about to level up with aligned. And when we bring those people on board, it's going to be like a rocket launch, and you've got to be ready to lead us.
Yeah.
So you're going to meet with the 2 candidates that Kaylin and I are the most excited about. And I think it's so cool that we loved the same ones. That's
yeah,
I know. What are the odds?
We loved a lot of them. And so it's funny because this job the job that we posted was originally for, which I think we mentioned in another podcast. It was one position. I was like, I'm going to find a CTO. Like that was my very clear intention. And the universe is like, actually, you're going to find a CTO. You're probably going to find an informations officer. You also might find a board of like, technology board. So like, hold on out of this one.
Hold my beer.
And it actually did the same thing when we're looking for a graphic designer. It's like, actually, no, here's two, administrative assistants. Here's a bookkeeper. Here's a web developer. Oh, and here's 2 chat supports.
Yes.
So like, I'm really excited when I put up the job for the CFO and we find like 32 people from it. Because that's the intention now. Like the bar has been set. So like now I must hire a CFO and find 8 other people in that.
Yeah.
But we'll be chatting with them and then figuring out if like either they come to, I was kind of thinking either giving them the option to come to Charlotte and me fly down to Charlotte and us kind of meet in person. Or me just taking a kind of whirlwind trip out to the West Coast and meeting, because I refuse to. It's one thing, like the next phase of this will be obviously I meet them, after that, it'll be Jade actually ripping through their astrology chart, giving us any red flags that she sees, which she's
All
like
the composites.
so excited. Yeah,
I can't wait.
Like,
This is my
here's 7
favorite
different
thing in the world.
composites.
Mm-hmm.
And then I still feel very compelled to meet people in person before we bring them, especially to an executive team. Like, we've hired, I don't even know, we've had what, 6 people in the past month, 6 or 7.
Yeah.
But like, and it's one thing to hire like like someone kind of mid-level or junior level, but to have someone who's like going to be on an executive team, who's going to be like also co-steering the ship. Like,
Oh yeah, you have to see them in person.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
1000%. It's very important.
Which leads us to being bullied by the universe, of the flight being from where I live to the 2 places where kind of our top 2 candidates live. I was just playing last night and looking, and the flight is 1881. So $1,881.
Numbers.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And the flights are 11 hours and 8 minutes. Like, and
yes.
you've got to be like, you've got to be shitting me. So
you're just like you have to like take screenshots and like circle them, because otherwise no one would believe if you don't have proof. Like, sure, Cass, again.
Exactly. You're like, did you just find the one flight that was, 1881? I'm like, no, actually that was the cheapest flight that I went with. So, because it's like, I don't even know. I think it's like 2 layovers each way. It's ridiculous, but it's fine. So
coast to coast travel, always fun.
Yeah, coast to coast travel from hello, middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But I feel like Aligned is definitely on
track.
It was like basically, the up of the roller coaster, as Jade, likes to. Yes. We were on that for like 8 months.
With little dips of wheeze that then, and then we thought that we were going, and then it's like, we have to pivot,
Yeah. Well, it feels like we're having some big wheeze right now.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I know that we're still on our way up, we still have more and more and more to go.
Yeah.
There's been like a lot of just like big changes, big updates, big moves, even with just like the development of the app and who's building things, and like, we'll have our like preliminary designs this week, which is really cool. Like the things.
We might have our preliminary designs this week. Mercury is in the microwave.
Mercury is in the microwave.
Just another good segue. We're so good at this
nice
new
pen,
format.
Kaylin.
You guys are so cute.
We're both over here conducting with the same pen.
Do I take notes? Maybe.
Do I take notes? Maybe. Jade's just here for the ride.
What the fuck am I even doing here?
Jade's just waiting for the we.
Literally. Oh, Jade, you are here for so much, but we really want to know, what the fuck? Why is Mercury in the microwave again?
Yes, because it happens all the time. At the time that this airs, it will already have been going on, but starting December 28th of 2022 and all the way until January 18th of 2023, Mercury is in retrograde. I tried to move, I pay some attention to retrogrades and planet movements, but I find I get overwhelmed if I concentrate a lot on that. So I tend to just ignore. And I say honestly that Mercury retrograde is one of the ones that one should not ignore. You need to acknowledge its presence. Like, I've tried to do things like move during a Mercury retrograde or make some big moves, and I always get slapped upside the head, because the purpose of a retrograde is literally to pause and reflect and look back, as opposed to making big moves. So Mercury rules thought and technology. And so when it's in retrograde, it can cause a lot of kerfuffles.
I like that word.
There's not one in April or March, right?
There is one April. Yep, yes. There is one April 21st to May 14th. I know this because
so this shit needs this MVP needs to be done by then.
It needs to go
April
live.
21st to May 14th, August 23rd to September 15th.
Yeah, there's like 3-ish per year.
Yes.
Okay, we're good. We're fine.
There's, and we'll talk more about about those because we're going to have a little astrology update on every podcast too. And the other, I think, that I'll just mention quickly is that we will, when this airs, we will be right in the energy of the full moon in Cancer. So
at
you will
11:08
be
p.m. Fuck
yes.
the full moon.
If you have Cancer in your chart, I mean, everyone does have it in their chart, but if it's if you have, you know, planets in Cancer, or if your rising is in Cancer, like our dear Cass, or you'll probably be happy as a clam, Kaylin. You'll be like all nesty and like feeling yourself because your moon's in, you know, in that cusp of Leo and Cancer. But yeah, it'll be an emotional full moon for sure. A little weepy. You'll want to hug your loved ones and maybe cry a little bit. It'll be great.
It is the wolf moon too, just putting it out
It
there.
is. So. Yeah.
We have wolf Cancer 11:08. I'm like, fuck this shit. Like,
wonder if you're like, gonna start having like arm pain or anything.
Don't even.
I know. I think actually what I've noticed about you, Cass, is when you're in the thick of some of that energy, you actually relish it. Like it helps you almost, as opposed to making you feel stuck. It's like, oh yes,
it pushes you.
It pushes you,
yeah,
like you can stand and hold the reins of it, as opposed to just getting knocked down by it. So that's you'll probably be in your glory.
That's good. I could use a glory after like
you could use a glory hole.
I mean, I wasn't gonna go there, but now that you mention it. And we've been
derailed. Always here to take us there. That's your role, Jade. If you want to know why you're here, you got to take us there.
Literally. Yeah. And she didn't even need a pen or a note paper to bring that in.
Nope, sure as shit didn't.
So, it happens naturally.
It does happen naturally.
So that is the astrology update.
Amazing.
I love it.
Which kind of led us into a little bit of roasting of the good old moon.
Of the moon.
So I think we brought this up on a couple episodes ago, but I think we need to kind of conclude it here now that we are into 2023. What is our word/intention for the year?
Yes. We should talk about that.
Is yours just yes, Jade?
No, it's not. Somebody else go first.
No, I think you should.
I have to plug in my computer.
No, Cass, you need to go first because I feel like you're the most sure.
I think so. Mine is, I have two words, but they go together because you can't have, anyway. My words.
You can't have two?
I can have two because
if I
said expansion, that's one thing. And if I said effortless, that's one thing. But if I say effortless expansion, it's a whole nother thing.
Ooh, la la.
Effortless expansion. And it's been funny. It's been kind of mentioned to me from, I don't even know, probably 10 or 12 people at this point. Probably 11 if I'm being honest, because that's what fucking happens. But of just like getting to this space where like I breathe, it happens. I say it's going to happen, it happens. There's not like work there's obviously work, but there's not like the striving or the white knuckling or like the doing or like having to like put my head down and like just go. And it's funny because as I'm saying this, I found this sign the other day.
Yes.
And I think it needs to be plastered to my head.
You're literally gonna nail that.
It looks like you're not watching on YouTube. It says, "Don't ask me. I make it up as I go." So basically bringing in that energy into 2023 is to like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to go. This is what I'm supposed to do. It's effortless. It's easy. It is what it is.
And anytime you feel that rush of concern that immediately leads to taking on responsibility that you don't want and you feel like you have to take on, that's your sign that you're not in that space of effortless expansion, because you are learning how to really just be in that Pisces North Node of yours, which is so glorious. And that is effortless expansion. Pisces North Node is like literally just led by spirit and without any worry or fear. So
going
I
back
love
to that 80-20 rule that I mentioned earlier, we're going to try to get to like 98.2 by the end of 2023.
That seems healthy. You need
It
to
does
have
seem healthy.
that 2% of doubt to fuel the 98%,
Correct.
to remind you that the 98% is still there.
And be like, hey, yo, bitch, you're still human.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the shadow side, your South Node in Virgo, it's still part of you. It can't be ignored. It's not, the shadows are not all bad. No.
So those are
Love
my
it.
words.
Beautiful.
Love
What's
it.
your word?
So mine is intention, or intentionally. I want to, spend time with people, intentional time. I want to be intentional with my money. I want to be intentional with the relationships that I build, with all the things that I do. I want to bring intentionality to, be pointed, to know what I'm doing and to do it with, clarity, instead of just kind of like willy-nilly, like, oh, okay, I'm doing this. Oh, okay, I'm going to be with this person. Oh, okay, like, let's go here. Like, I want to be intentional with the things that I do, the relationships that I build, the ways I spend my money, all of it.
Selfishly, that sounds really exciting with you as my COO. Because I'm like, I'm just going to expand and do all these things. And you're like, I'm going to make sure it's intentional. I'm like, thank fucking God, because someone's got to.
Finally.
I love it.
So.
So my word is still, it's subject to change, but I don't think it will. And it is clearing. So we have been talking about the last couple of months, Cass and Kaylin, about me and my energy and, when is it coming out and where is it going to point and what's getting in the way of me really taking the reins on just some things in my life energetically. And that sounds all very cryptic, and I'll go into more detail later, listeners. But for now, you just need to know that I am doing some serious clearing work, and I have very specific things coming up in my personal life and my professional life that I'm going to do to make sure that clearing happens. It's a process that started with my ayahuasca journey in July of 21. What year was that? 21. Yes. And there's some loopholes that need to be closed. And I feel that, like, the voice is very loud. If you remember the episode where the voice told me that my money was in the mailbox, like it's that voice that's telling me what to do, kind of similar to you, Cass, in like that kind of feeling bullied or like, okay, I'm listening. It's that strong for me too. And it's almost like it feels like a parent or, like a parent, like it's time, or if you don't, you're going to be punished.
Does it feel like bowel pressure and like nausea? Just asking for a friend.
No, that's not how mine feels.
That's unfair.
I'm sorry.
You don't get to choose. We've been over this. You keep saying that you don't want to be a shaman, and we keep telling you don't get to choose.
You don't get to choose.
Yeah. I'm like, maybe God, I was supposed to be sanitarian or something else with an S, and I just picked the wrong box.
No, sanitarian. Absolutely not. No, that's your husband.
Exactly. I was like, maybe we just flip flopped. This was all supposed to be you.
You're like, sales? That starts with
sales.
Sales, great. Yeah. Sex worker.
Sexy.
Sex worker.
So, anyway,
love it. Yeah, so that's there will be more updates and specific things that I share down the road for sure, but it's starting and I'm excited because this is a year 5 for me.
But I have a list of death notes for you, Jade, in particular. So
that you got?
Yeah.
I love it. They're going to
notes
to dovetail together.
I know they are.
Yeah.
So,
yay.
That'll be a different episode. Amazing. So I think this concludes the first episode in the new format.
I love it.
I like her. It feels like therapy.
That was fun.
So let us know what you think. We'll maybe take it to heart and maybe change our things around. if there's a topic, actually, if there is a topic that we used to talk about on the podcast that you miss, we might be able to bring it back. So let us know that too. Until next time.